morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razek at CMTrading. Today is November 5th, 2018, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the economic events of the day, services PMI number coming out of United Kingdom, and that's going to be at 11:30 South African time. Then in the afternoon, Bank of Canada Governor Polos will be speaking, and that's going to be at 3:10. And then lastly, at 5 p.m., ISM non-manufacturing PMI number coming out of the United States. Now, these numbers really pale in comparison to the non-farm payroll we had last Friday. So I wouldn't add so much weight to them, although they are high, quote unquote, high impact news, unless there's some sort of, major correction in them or major surprise in them. I wouldn't add so much weight to them. Just a few points before we do our chart work. In the Forex symbols, GBP, Euro, and Aussie dollar retreat a little bit versus the US dollar. We'll take a look at that after their major rally against the dollar last Thursday. And then the Dow Jones retreats last Friday, mostly because of Apple sell-off. We'll take a look at that as well. JC, Johannesburg Stock Exchange, and the DAX rally both. We'll take a look at that and we'll anticipate what's going to happen this week. Gold on the upper range at 1230, and oil sells off closer to $62 a barrel. Lastly, Apple sells off sharply with decreased future guidance. Okay, they're guided lower in terms of their sales, so that's affected the stock. We'll take a look at that as well. So let's see what we can anticipate from today and this week's trading. So we're taking a look here at the Euro USD, and as you can see, we had this nice rally last week after getting to that double bottom that we had, and then selling off last Friday just a bit from 1450 down to 1393-ish level. Okay, altogether that's not such a bad retracement. Now, what's really important to note is that if you look at the moving average, it acted like a support here at 1370-ish level. So that's really important to note. All right, now for this to be a bona fide rally, a correctional move against the dollar, I really want to see that it's holding up, okay, and going to continue making this correction on the upside. Now, we're looking at a weekly chart, and as you can see, there's a double bottom here. Okay, but this double bottom has to be solidified, and we have to bounce off of it for it to be considered a double bottom. So let's see if we do get that as this week progresses to trade. Now, if we jump to the GBP USD, you'll see that we're a little bit stronger. Okay, the retracement right here wasn't as sharp as the euro was. Okay, so we're at this upper range here, so I'd like to see some continuation here, maybe get to the 31-ish level, breaking this 30-32 resistance level. So that's really important to note as we continue trading here. Now, this resistance level was here before for something we had subsequently. Okay, so just for your own ramification, I didn't just add that this morning. So this line is important to see that we break above it to see some continued rallying on the upside. Now, if we look at the Aussie dollar, this is where it really gets very beautiful. Okay, now this was our trend line on the downside, and we broke above it. Now, what I would anticipate is that we use it as a support level. So my next support level is 71.60-ish level. Okay, that's when I would be actually looking to get into this at the next retracement. So let's see actually if we do get that. Okay, so that's beautiful right there. You could see that, and broke resistance here at 71.90-ish level, and just trading right now at 70.93. So you got to compare all three currencies versus the dollar to see which one is strongest. Obviously, the GBP and euro and the Aussie dollar, excuse me, are much stronger than the euro versus the US dollar. So, the euro may just play catch up. Okay, so that's what I'd be looking to look there as this week progresses. Now, looking at gold, you could see we're trading at 1232-ish level, and this is a rally from last Friday. Okay, very nice. We hit 1212, and we're basically just trading between this 1235-ish level on the upper range and 1212 on the lower range. Okay, so if we don't see any breakout, any continuation, some solidification around this 1230-ish level, we may break back down. So this may be a seesaw until we see some sort of correctional move on the upside, breakout on the 1240-ish level for continued strength. Now, looking at oil, now this is a Fibonacci that we've set up for quite some time, and as you can see, we're right there at the 62.90-ish level on that support. So I do anticipate that we will bounce off of here. Okay, we've set this up quite before when we had that initial rally to $75 a barrel. Now we've made that double top, so that looks actually very nice. And then having this correctional move back to 62 was anticipated. If we didn't break above the 75, sure enough, that's exactly what we did over the last 4 weeks, is just sell off sharply from $74 down to $62. Now, I do anticipate a bounce, and if we do break this 62, we definitely see it go back down to 58-ish. Okay, so this is really working out very nicely with the Fibonacci, as you can see. So that's what I would look for today, some sort of bounce, some sort of correctional move on the upside. If we don't get it and it continues to sell off, then we could see it back down to the 58.90-ish level. Okay, and that's what I would look there. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, this was the rally we had last week. Okay, after a correctional move from 27,000 the beginning of October down to the end of October, we sold off quite sharply, and then we bounced just the last week, call it a short covering, and then last Friday we sold off again sharply 100 points. Okay, mostly contributed to Apple. We'll take a look at that in just a second. We're just bouncing off of this 25,129, which is support resistance level. Okay, so I would look for a bounce off of there today. If we do sell off, then our next real support level is 25,000 or 24,956-ish level. Okay, just give it a round up number. But that's what I'd anticipate. Okay, I think we're going to get a mix back in the Dow Jones. Certain sectors doing well, certain sectors not doing well. Okay, the fact that Apple in of itself is not doing well or guiding lower is, could be just Apple. All right, so that's something to consider as this continues to trade throughout the week. Now, looking at the DAX, got stronger here to 11,547. Now, if we look at a daily chart, we see we filled that gap. Okay, that's what I was talking about earlier in the week. Before that, last Friday, we sold off sharply, capitulated down on 11,000, and then bounced to 11,547. So this is really a moment of truth. Okay, are we going to continue making the correctional move maybe back to the 11,800-ish level, or are we going to make the correctional move back down to the 11,000? Okay, so that this week will really tell the tale. Okay, or we may consolidate for now. Okay, but this week I believe will be a moment of truth as to whether or not this was just an overreaction and markets slowly climb back to their somewhat of their averages, okay, relative to what they've sold off. Now, looking at the JSC, this was a beautiful play last week. If you got into it, consolidated here at 44,800-ish level, and then rallied all the way up to 49,300-ish level, 400-ish level, and hit that resistance level. Okay, previous support right there. That's subsequent resistance right there. Okay, so we may get that correctional move, maybe making a double bottom before we may rally towards the end of the year. That still could be. That's still an option on the table. So just be aware of it. Now, looking at Apple, lastly, this was the huge gap down. Okay, gap down from 221 down to 219, 213-ish level, and then we just sold off sharply as the open continued selling off throughout the day, and settling at 205, which is the bottom of the day. Okay, now looking at a daily chart, that's a major correction for Apple. Okay, 200 would be a point of potential bounce. Okay, because because we like round numbers, and Apple being above 200 is a major psychological number. Okay, so that's something to consider as we go into Apple this week, to see if we do get that bounce. If we do break this 200-ish level, then we can correct ourselves back to 170, 180-ish level. Now, there is some positive side to all this. If we look at Facebook, we see we had the correctional move, we had the gap up. Okay, and then a little bit of a sell-off. We didn't fill the gap yet. We're trading at 149, below 150. Okay, but we haven't sold off back to the 140-ish level. Okay, it's not so promising when it's below 150, to tell you the truth, but ultimately, it's consolidating at these levels. Let's see if we do get any new buyers into this area. Now, lastly, looking at Amazon, we did get that correctional move from 1400 up to 1600, so we're just trading around that area right now, and let's see what this week really entails us. Okay, because I think a lot of clarity will, a lot of the smoke will be cleared, and we'll be much more in a clearer area to make some more decisive decisions as to the direction of the market, at least for the short term. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.